Yeah, thank you, Brian. It's always exciting hosting at home. Not a lot of college golf teams get to host a home event, especially a top 100 golf course like Pete Dye. So our guys are excited. We've been down there pretty much every day we can be since the end of March, trying to get familiar again with really the state of West Virginia and Pete Dye because we traveled so much January through March. But yeah, we're just excited. Golf course in great shape, and really can't thank the staff and the ownership, everybody at Pete Dye that has been so welcoming to us and really trying to make this event special, not only for us but all the visiting teams. I think it's the largest field we've ever had with 16 teams competing. And like I said, we're excited to play at home. It's really cool to end the regular season with a home event because all the guys know they're going to compete. Whether it's in the top five or as an individual. Obviously, this event will sort of finish up our qualifying into who's going to go to Big 12s. So the guys are excited about that, and just something special about playing at home and having all our parents and family and everybody come out and support us. And just feels right, especially with Masters Week going on right now and getting the hosts at home. It's just it's a cool time for golf.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Just go ahead and unmute your line when you're ready to ask a question for Coach.
Hey, Coach. I was looking at the schedule, and a lot of the other tournaments you've gone to are 3-day events, and this is a 2-dayer. With the additional number of teams that you have in this, is that kind of a logistical challenge to get it all in? How do you put all that together?
Yeah, it's that's a good word, logistical challenge, or a good phrase. It's all dependent on weather. We moved this event from the fall to the spring, and you gain a lot of daylight. You gain a ton because in the fall we had to be wrapped up by like 6:45 at night on the 36 hole day, whereas in April you have close to 8 o'clock to play some golf. So as long as we don't have any fog or any sort of rain delay in the morning, we should be able to get it in. We have on the 36 hole day, the players now ride in carts instead of walk, so that helps pace of play a little bit. We've sort of gone with a new pairing system where my 1 and 2 guy will be paired with another team's 1 and 2, and so that kind of helps with pace of play because you're a little more comfortable with your teammates, so you can kind of helps pace of play a little bit. So we should be okay as long as we don't get a fog delay, which we have had in the past. But you've got 2 days to play 54 holes. So say we play instead of 36 on Monday, we get 33 holes. We'll just finish up round 2 in the morning on Tuesday and go straight into round 3. So that's the way I kind of look at it. It's going to be, hopefully we get 36 holes in, but if not, we still have all day Tuesday to make that up.
And then in terms of just running the tournament, I mean, I know you don't have to have as many as like a pro tournament or anything like that, but still seems like a lot of slots for that. How has, been organizing that, working with Pete Digon?
Yes, it takes a lot of people, and the planning for this event really started the day after last year's event. What can we do better? And I always try to view it as, if I were to go to a tournament, what do I think would be kind of cool or fun? And so there's several things that we do that I think are unique. Obviously, the greatest shotgun start in college golf with the Mountaineer mascot. This year, we're also going to do the national anthem. We've got cheerleaders out there, and we try to make it a kind of an event. We got music going, and Pete Dye itself is a really fun golf course. It's not it's not stuffy. You don't feel like you're walking on eggshells out there. Like it's a fun environment. So we want to keep that rolling through our college event. So we have music going, at the practice areas. We have music going on the putting green. You can kind of hear it throughout most of the golf course. We have good food stations out on the golf course for all the players and the coaches. Instead of having to come in and get a box lunch and take it back out to them, we're like, hey, let's just feed them as they're playing. And so we try to do some cool stuff. So that's really the support and hard work of Pete Dye and their food and beverage staff to make that happen, and just kind of create a fun event on our end. And of course, Brian Messerly is on this call. He really helps out with the live scoring. We got people here in the athletic department that help out, like Graham Rieger, who is in the business office. He helps with the volunteers. So we've got a lot of people behind the scenes that make sure it runs smoothly. And golf's unique. We only have one event at home throughout 365 days. Compare that to volleyball or basketball, baseball, where they have several. We only have one. So we have to, we don't get to test it out in non-conference, so to speak. We only have one chance. So hopefully we do it right.
Sean, is your lineup set, or do you still have qualifying events to determine the top 5?
Yeah, we still got a lot of qualifying left. Actually, Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, weather permitting, we should wrap it up. And then I do know that Max Green and Trent Tipton will be in the starting lineup. They earned that by their performance at the Hootie at Bulls Bay Intercollegiate. Both had strong showings there in our most recent competition, so they'll be in our starting 5. The other ones, hey, we'll figure it out. It's very, very close. Still a lot of golf to be played, and that's been one kind of, I guess, frustrating thing for us this year. Is like we've had Max step up big time, and without a doubt having one of the best seasons in our school's history. But then it's been a revolving door, really, from the 2 spot always to the 5 spot. That means we're very deep. That means we're very competitive, but you would like to see a couple guys separate themselves and just, that way you can count on them each week. But it's been a mixed bag all year, which, is good and bad, because a lot of guys have improved a ton from the fall to now, and they're playing great golf. And some guys have regressed and slid out of the lineup. But, some years are different than others. You can pencil in four guys out of 5 some years, and then like this year, it's just been a revolving door. But in regards to this week, I know Max and Trent will play, and then we'll probably find out Saturday or Sunday who the other guys are.
Hey, Coach, I noticed last year was the highest team score for a winner in the Invitational's history. Was that just a one-off, or is there a reason for that? And would that translate to this year potentially?
Well, I think the number one reason for that was the weather last year. Going into the event last year, we had days of 70 degrees, even 80 degrees for like 2 straight weeks. And then the practice round comes, and at the end of the practice round, this front came through, and the temperature just plummeted into the upper 30s and lower 40s, and it was windy, and winter hung around for 48 hours. Happened to be when we were playing golf, so it presented a completely different golf course than what we prepared for, and a completely a very challenging competition. So. And he had some great teams there, and namely Oklahoma State, who's won multiple national championships. They were there, and it presented a really, really, really tough setup. So I do believe maybe that was a one-off. I think this year the weather's looking pretty good for the tournament. It's not looking good for our qualifying coming up here later, but once we get to the tournament days, it's looking pretty good. So I do expect some pretty good scores. Especially that last day. It's going to be in the 80s, little wind, and usually, traditionally, the last day is kind of a shootout. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what the scores are this year.
Sean, you mentioned Max a little bit earlier. What's led to his improved play during the spring, and did you see some signs of that in the fall that he might be able to do what he's done?
Well, Max is just a very steady player. Sometimes you ask about what makes a player great, and you can point to, 1 or 2 things, but Max is just like really solid in every category, which I think is, when you look at his career, he won as a freshman. It was an individual event at East Carolina, but he won as a freshman, played a little bit in the lineup. Then the sophomore year, he played a lot more, and now he's turned into a great leader. So that's, I think, the reason his progression has been pretty steady and pretty solid is that he's good in a lot of things. He hits the ball pretty straight. He hits it far enough. His bad shots are pretty good, and that's the game of golf. If your misses are in good spots, like you're gonna have a chance to score, and that's his game. If you go out and watch him, he hits a lot of missed shots, but they're in the fairway or they're 40 feet on the green. Then he has good speed on the green and he makes par and just kind of moves on. So super steady, and that's kind of his personality too. I think it matches. He's pretty steady on and off the golf course, and it's been exciting to see. And hopefully, he can win another one before the year's over with, because he's having a great season. But it's kind of funny, like the only guys that have won here, their name has started with an M. So maybe I need to recruit more like M's. Max Sear and Mark Getz, and now Max Green. So maybe next year my roster just be nothing but guys their name starts with M. So
You were mentioning the setup of the golf course, and also as you mentioned, this is a pro level top tier course that can be set up really difficult. So what's your balance? What are you shooting for in the setup of the course?
well, I don't want to give too much away in case Marshall is watching this. I'm sure they're watching this Zoom live. No, I'm kidding. But we do set it up pretty tough. Nothing crazy. But Pete Dye is a championship course, like you said. It's well over 7,000 yards long. But it's got a mix of some short par fours that you can definitely have wedge or less, or maybe even drive the par fours. And then you have some that, you might be hitting a hybrid 4-iron into there. Number 18 comes to mind. Depending on the wind, number 14 comes to mind. Number 10. So it's gonna play tough. But we also have a round in there where we set it up to have some exciting golf played. It's not easy. The pins are definitely challenging, but we set it up in a way where if you take a few risks here and there, you can make birdie. Whereas maybe some of the other rounds, it's you just got to be patient, try to make par, move on to the next hole. But we do set up one round where you're going to get some red numbers, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Sean, during the tournament, obviously there's the administrative responsibilities of putting the event on, but what is your strategy for following the guys throughout the tournament? Are you on a walkie-talkie? Do you try to follow the scores? And if somebody's not doing well, you try to go over to them. What is your process during the actual tournament?
Well, hopefully we've prepared these guys enough to where they don't really need me or Coach Course, although Coach Course, Will Course, our assistant, we'll be with a couple of guys, mainly to just keep them in a positive mindset, keep them, focused on the next shot, the next hole, no matter if they're 6 under or 6 over, just kind of staying in the moment. Does a great job with our guys. And yeah, you're right. When you host a home event, there's so many other things I'm trying to coordinate that sometimes the last thing I get to do is actually go out and coach the guys, especially on Monday, with, being opening day and a lot of ceremonies going on early. But hopefully towards the end of each round, I can get out there, kind of let the guys get settled. And then just kind of remind them like what the strategy is. We put the pin there for a reason. Here's your miss on this side. And just kind of, again, let them know there's a game plan for playing the hole. It doesn't matter if you're under par or over par. The right shot's the right shot. Just kind of reminding them of that. But hopefully at that point they don't need me, but it's more just kind of a little comfort, and they kind of bounce ideas off of me or give them somebody to talk to, during the round. And that's really it. There's not much coaching going on, hopefully at that point.
Coach, I think that's all the questions for today. Appreciate your time. Thanks for media for calling in, and best of luck next week.
Thank you. And hopefully see everybody for the greatest shotgun start in college golf on Monday at 8:30 a.m.